Welcome to the Break Muta Cloud Podcast, where we share about scaling F&Bs in Singapore. This podcast is brought to you by StaffAny and produced by Nila Studios. I'm Eugene, the co-founder of StaffAny, and today we have Dom from Ajuma to join us here in this session. Hi, Dom.
Hi Eugene, thanks for having me.
How are you feeling today?
Okay, very good.
Amazing. It's amazing to have a Dom here with us in this studio. And maybe, Dom, can you share with me more about yourself and also about your brand?
Right, so my name is Dominic. I'm the co-founder of Ajumas. So Ajumas is a chain of casual Korean restaurants. We also run another brand called Odem, and that is a semi-fine dining craft makgeolli restaurant bar. And we also do import and distribution for these craft makgeolli that we bring in.
Wow, that's a lot of things you guys are doing. Dom, can you also share with us a bit more about the vision of your company?
Well, I mean, all our concepts are within the Korean sector of food, right? Category, I mean. And we want to, of course, expand as many restaurants as we could. But I would say when we first started the company, I started with an ex-co-founder. During that time, about 11 years ago, there was not many Korean restaurants that we could go to. It's only food court Korean food or barbecue restaurants. And then there was nothing in the middle. So we wanted to do something that was affordable and still of decent quality.
Right, and I think that a lot of our friends who visit your restaurants all say the same thing. Like even for myself, I went to Paya Lebar, I see your restaurant, always full, and you can tell that it's actually attracting a lot of the crowds there. Actually, how has business been for you in the past year?
Oh, the past year. I think the past year has been the most challenging one so far. I would say on par of COVID. At the start of the year, we saw sales started to take a hit. A lot of new concepts coming in from China, from Korea, from Japan. We also see people start to drink a bit less. So that affected both our brands, Ajumas and Odem. And then it was quite tough for the first half of the year. In the middle of the year, we did launch a new menu. So that really pushed things along and refreshed our brand a little bit.
Okay, so you see things start picking up from the mid of the year onwards.
Yeah.
Any other things that you do other than a menu refresh, or actually you attribute mainly through menu refresh?
I would say a big part of it is menu refresh.
Okay.
But also, more active marketing efforts like engaging KOLs and our customers, really talking to them, looking for feedback. When we did new dishes, we also tested with them and then asked them what they like, what they didn't like, and then we refined from there. So that was more for Ajumas. And for Odem and Su Seller, our distribution business, we did a lot more B2C expos. Yeah, so like Sake Matsuri or Seller Fiesta, we were at those events, and that helped to increase the awareness of craft makgeolli.
Yeah, so I think there's two very interesting things that you shared here. First is menu design. Second is engaging like micro influencers to help you bring up your brand. So maybe I want to talk a bit more about these two stuff regarding menu design, right? Because a lot of people in F&B always think about menu design as a way to improve their business. We can share a bit more two things like how frequent do you actually change your menu or add things in your menu?
Yeah.
And secondly, how do you decide what to do with the menu?
Okay. I think for Ajumas, we always focus on comforting and nutritious food, right? When I say nutritious, I mean, in Korean food, it's always about comfort, it's always about balance, and like a full meal within itself, right? So every time we think of new dishes that we want to put on the menu, that has always been our guiding principles, right? And we change every 6 months to a year. 6 months will be small additions or like seasonal items. And once a year, we will try to change off some permanent things on the menu, either add on or remove some items.
So about add on and remove, is it always like we add something must remove, or sometimes you guys just add all the way? How do you think about it?
For the last 10 years, I would say it's more just adding without removing much. But in the last menu refresh, we did remove a few items that were not selling very well. I think people just didn't appreciate them, although they are quite central to Korean cuisine. But we just see what people like here and what we feel would fit our principles, the way that we think of our menu and our food, and then we add those in. Yeah.
This is pretty interesting, but any kind of like SOP internally in the company in terms of how you guys approach this problem, or it's sometimes like, every half a year we review the sales drop, I think about menu revamp and stuff. Yeah, how do you guys think about it?
Yeah, I think it's pretty similar to the 80-20 rule.
Okay.
20% of your menu making 80% of the sales, right? So of course we keep the signature items and everything that's high volume. We also actively try to remove things that are low margin.
Okay.
They may be high volume, but if it's low margin, we remove it because it's not efficient, right? Yeah, and then we see what are the new items that we can add. There's potentially number one has some sort of viral factor to it. Like we added a new spicy ramen. There's a jumbo plate,
Wow.
and then it's like the Korean spicy ramen. We have like roast pork and sausage and gochujang, which is a chili paste pork. So it's a very sumptuous thing, and I think when people try it, they want to post it. So that's also, of course, an important factor, right? The dish has to be marketable and it has to look good because we eat with our eyes first before our taste buds, right? Yeah, so that's something that we consider before we add onto the menu permanently.
You mentioned regarding a viral factor, right? How actually do you identify all these? Is it like you always go TikTok, go and look at what's a trendy thing?
I would say a bit of that, yes.
Okay.
But we also don't want to end up copying people and doing the same thing. So, like our new dishes are all created, without any reference of viral dishes on TikTok, I would say. But we still try to base as much as we can on traditional Korean cuisine because we don't want to go too far off that track. Right? It's important for us to preserve that.
Right, to always have that understanding and that niche that this is the cuisine that you guys are doing.
Yeah, the context of it. So I would say we are 90% traditional, 10% innovation, or
Okay.
something new. Yeah.
Got it. And just now you also mentioning using micro influencers to so-called increase your reach. So how do you actually play around with this strategy and your menu new launch?
I think it was a very active decision to take on and only work with smaller influencers who
Okay.
have high engagement, because we do realize that yes, there are influencers with a very large outreach or base, right? But because the content is people know that it's paid for, so it may not be as effective. So we work with actually KOLs who also like our brand. They've dined at Ajumas before. They like our product. We work with them for many years. It's not just a one-off thing. And we invite them back to do tastings every time we have a new product or new bundles or something that we want to promote in the restaurant. We give them priority. And then when they come, they post, within their network. Their followers may be less, but they like the same thing as the KOLs. So
Okay.
the engagement and the conversion is definitely much better.
That's a interesting insight because when I talk to my friends from F&B, I think one of the key things regarding marketing, they always think about KOL, right? The more reach, the better.
Yeah.
But for you, it's like the more you don't need to be the most highest reach, but more of a concentration of a reach.
Yeah. I think the common approach is to cast your net wide.
Yeah, cause your network, right? Super,
Catch
your
everybody.
50K, 100K followers kind.
Yeah. I think there's nothing wrong with that because you want to create as much brand awareness as you can. But at the end of the day, the most important thing to us is customer retention, and you must catch the right people that your product resonates with, right? If you just cast a wide net and then people just come once and they don't really resonate with your brand or your product, then it's just a continuous process of having to do that, which is quite challenging also.
Can be quite costly also. Yeah. Got it. Thanks for sharing that. So Dominic, I wanted to know about some of the wins or some of the challenges that you have this year, right? What's your maybe any latest win that you want to share with us or?
We are quite proud of the menu launch.
Okay.
It's a win for both our brand in terms of helping sales, but also we really involve the whole team in doing the new menu. So normally for previous menu iterations, I would do the R&D or consult someone and then we'll work on it together. But this year we consulted our head chef. She's originally from Daegu in Korea.
Okay.
So she's she knows the culinary principles and everything in Korean cuisine very well. And on top of that, we involve all Ajuma's restaurant managers and kitchen supervisors and kitchen heads.
Isn't that a very long process then?
It is, but I wanted everyone to have a chance to know what it's like to create a new dish and actually to feel like they contributed to the menu and they have something there that was really from them. So each outlet actually created their own dishes. They worked on their own R&D and then they presented it to everyone. And then we tasted, we refined. Actually, that took quite a long time, quite a few months to do, but we were very happy with the end product.
And I think the way of how you are doing is quite interesting because you actually get the buy-in from the so-called people who are running the outlets.
Yeah, exactly. That's the word buy-in. Everyone felt like they contributed to it and they really took care of it from R&D all the way to launch and
Okay.
making sure that it's consistent.
Yeah, so maybe for this, right, how long did the process actually take? Since you need to go through get all the buy-in, organize so many sessions and stuff.
Well, very hard to say. Some dishes were very easy to do in terms of R&D. Not easy, but I would say fast. Maybe 2-3 iterations were enough. I remember I worked on one dish. I did like 30 over iterations before.
Wow, 30 over iterations.
Yeah, 30 over iteration was like, I just kept failing and I felt so frustrated. Like, why couldn't I get it like to the taste that we wanted? But I think it depends on the dish. Some dishes are just more complex and some are not so difficult.
On the flip side, how about the greatest challenge that you faced this year?
The first half of the year was very challenging because sales were not looking very good, and we were, trying to figure out how to refresh the brand, right, and make us, keep us relevant in today's context of where the Korean restaurant scene is in Singapore, right? I think it has changed quite a lot in the last 10 years. So that was quite difficult, and thankfully the menu refresh really helped us.
Looks like today, I think on your mind is a lot about menu refresh. Like that was really the key punch for this year, for the second half to really succeed.
Yeah.
Since we're on this topic of menu refresh, I know we talked about a lot about it already. So we'll talk about variety trends. How was your feeling like actually in the first half of the year?
Wow.
Because the thing about menu design, right, is like, I think this might work. But you're also not sure whether it will work or not. So how do you feel in that point of time?
I would say I was very anxious. Like,
Okay.
we just kept sawing sales dip, and then I was quite stressed, of course, because we wanted to give better benefits and pay and everything, incentive for our team, right? But if we didn't build sales, we couldn't do that.
Yep.
And of course, we want to expand as well. So I was very anxious and stressed, and we really pushed very hard on the menu refresh, on the R&D. We kept doing it every day. Like, our team will update us like what's been done, new tasting every single week. So that was quite a tough period.
But you still look so fit after countless food tasting.
The stress burn off everything.
Burn off everything. Right. And because when you talk about being feeling anxious and stuff, when I talk to some of my friends who are running F&B, that's always something that's always on their mind.
Yeah.
How do you overcome that?
Well, I think how you frame problems is pretty important.
Okay.
If you see problems as opportunities, then you will work on them with some sort of enthusiasm, right, and optimism. I think that's very important. But if you just let your problems how do I say this, overburden you, right, then it's hard to move forward. Yeah. So I think it's a lesson that I learned over the last 10 years, working, and that helped a lot. And I think my team also felt quite stressed about this situation, and we always talk about it and say, you know what, it's an opportunity. It's people telling us that we need to do something different and improve on our brand. And I'm very happy to have gone through that. Actually, I mean, looking back, I'm grateful that we had this problem, because then we have stepped up and improved as a company, both in like back-end processes and also our product that we offer like to our customers.
And just like you mentioned, you managed to gather your guys to look on the so-called. But how do you conduct such session? Because I can imagine at that point of time, probably when the stressful period is here, maybe the mood at the office might not be the best also.
Yeah.
So how do you actually gather everyone? Hey guys, look at this. How do you do it? Or you treat everyone to a kimchi stew. Everyone have 2 hours of unlimited kimchi stew.
They're probably still asking kimchi stew already. Yeah, but I think it's just various avenues. Like once in a while, just checking in with your teammate and saying like how you look very stressed, showing them concern, like genuine concern, like not just for the sake of it. But I did see like some of my colleagues, they were really stressed out, trying to either recruit or find solutions, and we just had talks. And then as you talk things out, you feel better, and then you find solutions better as well. So dinners or just one-on-ones, we talk quite openly at the office.
Yeah, I think it's quite nice that you are doing it. You managed to create a kind of open culture so that people will share more stuff with you. Maybe can you share more about some insights and predictions that you have in the market?
Well, for sure, there are going to be more Chinese brands and overseas brands coming in. I think, we went to China 2 months ago with RAS and SGPC. A lot of founders, they already say, like, oh yeah, I'm coming to Singapore, I'm opening in the end of the year or next year. So we know for sure more brands are going to come in. It's going to be challenging. But at the same time, I think it depends on how many brands come in and how saturated the market is with the same type of concepts. People might want something new, right? And I think also seeing how landlords also are very open to take on international brands to keep their malls a bit more attractive, right? Because every mall, after a while, ends up selling the same thing.
Yep.
You have your same clothing brand, same F&B brands, same supermarket brands, right? So I think that is where we will be seeing some changes in the next few years. I don't think it's going to stop.
Yeah, so it's more external competition coming in.
Yeah.
But some people say that competition could be a good thing also, because it's a spur us, right, to innovate faster.
Yeah.
For you guys, are you guys a metrical kind of business? Like you guys keep track of a certain key metrics or key KPIs in the F&B?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, every F&B has to keep track of COGS, for sure,
Okay.
right? We don't want cost to go out of hand. COGS, we do monthly audits at our restaurants.
Monthly audits, okay.
Yeah. So our ops manager and area manager, they do outlet audits at each outlet. And then we do staff appraisal every month.
Oh, every month.
Every month.
Wow, okay, okay. It's
So-
quite different from other friends that I spoke to.
Yeah, I know. It's a bit intense. I think people are shocked that we do once a month. I honestly thought it was standard, so that's why we did it. But at the same time, we also had a reason why we want to do that, because in the previous years, we did appraisal twice a year, right? Once in the middle and once at the end. And I felt that didn't really capture people's consistency very well. And why we do it every month is we wanted to make sure that staff are really performing at the level that we need them to perform at every month, rather than just increase your performance when you're close to appraisal period or bonus period, because that doesn't sustain or help the business.
I think this is quite interesting, because when we go to Ajuma's restaurant, we can see that actually the service standards are up there, right? It's whereby there's some form of consistency. I want to check, because in terms of this part of appraisal, you say you do it every month, but is it like throughout the entire year there will be 2 big cycles, or is it just like every month, right? It's the same questions?
Every month is the same questions.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So every month is same questions. The questions are based on your KPI. They are laid out for each individual role, right?
Okay.
So the manager will do an appraisal every month, and then our staff also every 3 months will do an appraisal for the manager.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's an upward and a downward appraisal. And
Okay.
why we do this, we also want our managers to set the right example, right? And really have some sort of way for our staff to feedback to management whether a manager is really achieving their KPIs and doing their duties properly and taking care of the staff.
And you review this every month?
I don't see each appraisal every month.
Okay.
But why we did is we want to build some kind of like a GPA style of appraisal. So at the end of the year, you have a final score based on the average of all your appraisals. And then that determines your bonus, your increment, your incentives.
And in your appraisals wise, is it like a 10 question kind, 15 question kind, or 20 question kinds?
It's almost 20 questions.
Almost 20 questions. Okay. Yeah, asking because I think some of our listeners want to know, hey, wow, every month. So how intense is this appraisal?
Yeah. It's a fairly straightforward. It's kind of like MCQ. Like, does this person know his job well and execute to whatever KPI that you need him to, and then it's either yes or fail or very good kind of answer.
Understand. And speaking of KPI, you need to give guidance to other aspiring F&B owners. Can you share us a bit more on your target sales to cost ratio for food?
COGS,
Yep.
for us, our target is 23%. We are currently around 24-25 on average.
Almost there.
Almost. It's quite hard to push COGS down. But that's our target. And, we do different things. Like, we track wastage very carefully.
Okay.
Make sure that our team is ordering supplies from the right supplier, because there are supplies, with multiple ingredients. So And our team also constantly asks for different price quotes to make sure that we are managing our costs well.
How actually do you track wastage? Because that's not very easy to track.
Yeah, it's very hard to track. But what we do is we make sure that all of our kitchen crew and supervisors take picture of. Okay, so we have something called debris and wastage. So wastage is like you cook wrong order, you double cook an order, you burn something, you throw it away. That would be wastage. And debris would be, example, you cut the onion got a head, right? But how much you cut the onion matters. If you cut so much that there's a lot of flesh left, that's wastage, right? So for us, we call it debris. And everyone has take photo of all their prep that they cut. And our managers go in and I also go in and check the pictures.
Wow.
So sometimes we spot like, wow, someone really cut the onion like that when it should be like this. And then we go in and ask them to correct it so that you can catch it every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, you guys have a lot of QC in place.
Yeah.
So how do you guys look at rent? Do you guys usually have expensive rent and high footfall? How do you guys think about it?
I think no one will tell you their rent is cheap. Right?
Yeah, I think in the newspaper you see now, right? Rent expensive, rent high and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, this year has been the most articles I've seen on F&B and about rental and closures. Yeah, we are typically in malls, and mall rent tend not to be very cheap, right? I would say yes, there is footfall for sure, but like this year we went through 2 renewals. One mall increased our rent by 15%,
Wow.
and another increased by 32%.
Wow, that's huge.
And we weren't paying like low base to
Okay.
begin with.
Okay.
And it was very hard to bargain because I mean, as individual tenant, you don't really have much bargaining power, right? So it is what it is. So we'll be more careful, in our future deals that we look for leasing. Yeah.
Because I always hear that it's not about food cost, and it's about rental cost. And rental is usually the hardest.
Yeah,
In Singapore, unfortunately, it just keep rising.
yeah. Nothing you can do about it.
Got it. And now the last aspect of usual F&B KPI is about the labor. Right? Do you guys have a labor efficiency ratio you guys try to hit towards to and stuff?
Well, in terms of labor costs, actually our labor cost I would say is quite high. It's almost close to 40%.
Okay, yeah, that's higher than
Yeah,
what I know.
it's definitely higher than average. And we are trying to reduce and find different ways to automate. So this start of this year, we made our own central kitchen, right? So that has helped with a lot of efficiency, automation, and that allow us to open our stores a bit earlier to make back some revenue and cover the costs. Yeah.
Okay, and actually, what's the challenge that you face regarding managing this labor cost?
Well, I mean, you need that many people to run a restaurant, whether you're serving 2 guests or 50 guests, right? You need a person at the station to run the station, right? So no matter what, we still need, let's say, 10 to 13 people at a restaurant to run both the front service and the back of house. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's quite hard to manage, and we don't really use a lot of part-timers because, especially for kitchen, it's hard to employ part-timers because a lot of training is required to be able to execute on one station. Yeah. So it's a lot of fixed cost lah.
Okay. That's why you do out the central kitchen model to try to spread the cost around.
Yeah.
But how does the central kitchen work for you?
So our central kitchen does a lot of prep, like sauces, marination, preparing vegetables. Yes, and then they send to outlets, individual outlets, and then we do the finishing touches. But of course, some things that we want to keep fresh at the outlet, like vegetables, we don't prep them in the central kitchen and they send over because they deteriorate fast in terms of quality. So there's a limit to what the central kitchen can do, but at least we can maintain some sort of consistency across outlets.
Because I think a lot of people is always thinking about central kitchen to a lower cost and stuff. Do you roughly have a number like before central kitchen and after central kitchen, right? What's the difference like?
The central kitchen costs more.
So in the end, your labor cost increase.
But because you're paying rental on your CK plus your logistics, right?
Okay.
It's not just about labor costs. Central kitchen is also about consistency.
Okay.
Right? So that was very important. At one point, we were around 3 outlets, and then that's kind of a stage where it's hard to decide, do I get a central kitchen or not, because it's not big enough, and yet you have this consistency issue. So eventually when we hit 5 outlets, we know that we need a central kitchen to make sure every outlet is going to be the same quality.
Okay, so I think you're optimizing more for consistency.
Yeah.
But did the labor cost ratio change after you have a central kitchen, or it actually remains the same, or
Remain the same.
remains the same? Okay,
Remains.
so the key thing is about optimizing consistency.
Yeah.
And just now you mentioned that you have a monthly appraisal cycle. So how do you deal with retention then?
Okay, as much as we can, we give incentives and bonus. Actually, we pay quite a decent bonus,
Okay.
I would say, twice a year, every mid of year and end of year.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So actually, I mean, we want our staff to actually have their bonus sooner so that they can, have their own. Everyone has their own goals, right? They want to buy a car or buy a house, or start their family, support their family. So we pay twice a year. We have a monthly incentive for all our staff. Hitting sales targets, they get an incentive, and there's no cap. So if once they exceed a certain amount, they get more bonus.
The better
Yeah.
you do, then the more you share with them.
Yeah, exactly. So
And-
that's for our staff, and then RMs also have a different set of incentives for them to achieve.
And the thing regarding bonus and incentive, actually, how do you think about it as an F&B owner? Is that partition X percentage amount over the profit, or is it a revenue base, or how do you think about it?
Well, okay, for your year end and yearly bonus, it will be based on sales and profit, lah, right? And of course, performance based on your appraisal. But for incentive, I think it's very hard to tag it to profit because every month your bottom line changes depending
yeah.
on your sales. So we tag it to sales. Yeah.
Okay, so a bit more micro incentive, but it's one level below profit, which is based on the revenue.
Yeah.
Okay. What made you thought about this? Like, what's the thinking process behind that?
Well, I think with the right incentives, you can of course encourage people to perform better, right? Having sales incentive, you encourage people to be more, how should I say, to engage the customer better, right? To really showcase what are your best products and choose and be selective about what you recommend a customer to buy, right? Whereas without incentive, maybe you just want to do a job and finish it, and whether I do more or less, I'm just gonna get paid the same anyway, right? Yeah. So like you say, alignment of interest.
When we're talking about building your top line and stuff, you want to also pick your brains a little on when do you decide when to open a new store?
I think multiple factors. One is location. When you get a good location, it may be a bit expensive, but it will still be worth it to open there. I mean, based on some projections. Profitability, I would say, is very important. I won't say we have grown very fast. So we've been around 11 years. We have 6 outlets for Ajumas and then 1 ODEM, right? So I think in the grand scheme of things, it's not a very fast expansion, but always based on profitability. Like if an outlet is not profitable, we will rather close and move it than to just aggressively expand.
Okay, so your train of thoughts is it must be profitable. If not, I wouldn't expand it.
Yeah.
And the other thing that you're sharing also is when you start being more open to opening is when there's good opportunities in location.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds like good location opportunities don't come by easily.
Very hard. Yeah.
Very hard.
Yeah, very hard. I think the mall has to like your brand, and if there happens to be an opening and you are lucky enough to be offered, or you're always looking and you find it, I think you will definitely want to go for it.
So it's more the opportunistic side of things.
Yeah.
The next thing, I wanted to know, what is your take on digital transformation for your business? Like how much, maybe just for others to learn also, like, cause you're a business owner, so do you like proportion X percentage of profit or revenue every year just for digitalization, or how do you think about it?
I think of it, first of all, operationally, whether it makes sense to implement, whether it really helps to streamline your ops or to serve the customer experience better or to help your back-end process. So one very early thing we adopted was QR code ordering. This was 9 years ago, 2015, 2016,
Yeah.
we adopted. Yeah, like you say, not many people at that time were doing QR code ordering. I think COVID definitely really pushed everything much faster. But doing that really helped to free up our manpower, because then our staff could be more focused on actually service and talking to the customer, and then they will be ordering on their QR code. So our staff has a bit more time to move around and make sure the experience is better.
But it's quite an interesting topic because I think 9 to 10 years ago, maybe people are not so, consumers are not so willing to just pay over a QR code. What made you have that idea that, hey, I should try this?
Wow, it's really quite a long time ago. Um, I think my primary consideration at the time was to streamline our operations, right? Take orders faster, and also we wanted to have a good loyalty program tagged to our online ordering, right? Because previously we were using a very manual system, like you had to key in your membership number or your phone and then open an account, and then you see this person has how many points, and then you redeem. So it took a lot of time for the person who was standing at cashier. And when we shifted to a QR code ordering, then everything was on the person's account. They could redeem, whatever freebie they had or voucher, without having to go through like standing at the cashier and then waiting for someone to process it for them. Yeah. So we wanted a good loyalty program and efficiency.
Oh, but it's quite amazing that you start thinking about loyalty programs 10 years ago that is digitalized. Because it's only recently that we see a lot of companies doing sort of like loyalty program. There's more of a digital version rather than last time got this card, right? You need to punch here, punch
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Wow, those were the days. You stamp the card or you key in your number, right?
Yeah. So actually, that's a pretty good foresight that you have there. And maybe just for the audience to hear also, is there any one or two products that you like to do a shout out that has made your life better?
On a operations back end, I think safety culture has been quite useful for my ops team. I don't really use it because I don't do the restaurant audits personally anymore. When we were doing it last time, it was very manual, like a checklist, and then you just walk around and you tick on the paper, right? But now they've shifted over to safety culture. So it's a system where you can just carry iPad. If you find something in a restaurant that you would want to fault or you don't consider it as a pass, you can take photo, and then it saves everything on cloud. So anytime a restaurant wants to see like, oh, why did I fail this audit or what things I could have done better, you can just pull it up and then you can show. So it helps with training, it helps with improvement, helps with your audit and saving information.
And regards to digitalization and stuff, actually, when should a business owner start thinking about it? Is it like day zero when they just started, or as soon as they saw their daily operations and they start to look into it?
I would recommend at the start.
At day zero.
Yeah, at day zero.
Why so? Yeah.
I think once you get people used to a certain format of ordering, right, and then you want to transition them to something else, it's a bit more effort rather than starting it from day zero. Let's say QR code ordering. But I think if you're starting, you're a young startup and you don't need like a big inventory management system, for example, then there's no point looking into that. So I think some systems you can look into which are low cost and definitely help your operations, but those high cost and not at the right stage for you, right? Then you can put it off a bit.
Yeah, it seems like you have played a lot with this sort of a digital solution. So let's say you were to invest in a startup, right, solving a F&B problem. Okay, what magical startup, right, do you hope, right, will exist to solve your biggest problem?
AI robot that can cook and QC.
AI robot that can cook and QC.
Yeah.
Wow, why so? Share me a bit more.
I think we all know that manpower is a very difficult problem to solve, and I think it will just continue to get more challenging. There are robots that can like do cooking that people have implemented in kitchen, but it's not a full solution to the problem, I feel, because there are limits to what today's technology in terms of kitchen robotics that can do. Like it can cook for you based on some preset numbers and recipe, but it can't check whether it's the right quality or the caramelization is correct or whatever you want, right? It still requires a person to operate the robot and to check the food and to serve the food. So I think if I could invest in any business, that would be it.
Yeah, this imaginary space.
Yeah.
Any kind of business. Got it. Okay, so thanks to Dom for sharing so much with us. So now we'll move on to the final section of our sharing, which is a rapid fire question.
Okay.
Right. So we're doing a quick 5-question segment that you can which you shouldn't take more than 2 to 3 seconds to answer. Are you
Okay.
ready for it?
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Who is someone in the industry whom you follow and learn a lot from?
Brian Nicole.
Okay.
Brian Niccol is the current CEO of Starbucks and the ex-CEO of Chipotle. So he really turned around Chipotle, grew the stock by 700%, changed a lot of things in the company. I think it's
Wow.
quite impressive.
That's amazing. Sounds like your menu overhaul plan.
Yeah, yeah.
And what is one piece of advice you wish someone had given you when you were just starting out?
Ooh, wow, this is very hard. I guess be careful with rental clauses and agreements that you sign. Read through everything properly, and understand the consequences after 3 years or 6 years.
Got it, got it. And if you have to have a kid, like your son or daughter, who is interested in F&B, what advice would you give to him or her?
I would tell him to work every role, like be a waiter, be a chef, be a manager, and then when you understand like how a restaurant really functions, then start F&B.
Go and test everything out
Yeah,
first.
but by that time he might probably decide the one.
That's what most people tell us. Okay. And if you were to dine at your own restaurant, what is the perfect meal for you?
It will be our beef kalbi because I'm a beef lover. I like beef ribs, and I mean I generally eat ajumas every week because I like our product. It will be the beef kalbi and it will be the steam egg because it's so like rich and a lot of egg and comforting.
Yeah, good for proteins also.
Yes.
And how should people who know who's interested in your brand follow you?
Instagram.
Nice. So I think for those who are interested, we'll put Dom Instagram there and they can follow you straight.
Yes, thank you.
And last question is, are you willing to offer one mentorship session for our listeners? Who's
Yeah,
that?
absolutely. Yeah, I would love to. I mean, I remember when I was starting a business, so I just randomly asked people. I remember asking someone who owned a hedge fund. I know it's not related,
Wow, okay.
yeah, but he was the founder and the CEO of hedge fund, and I mean, I was a young kid lah, so ignorant, like 17 years old, go and talk to one CEO, ask him for advice. But he was very generous. He gave me 2 different sessions just to talk about like how to think of business and how to think of saving money, and that was very helpful for me. And looking back, like the generosity of other people who have gone through starting a business and the challenges that they go through and willing to give back, I think that is something that all entrepreneurs should definitely commit some time to.
I think that through this so-called very quick podcast, actually I learned a lot of stuff from you also. All the way from overhauling menu, using influencers and all your challenges and wins. And the best way for them to reach out to you is through Instagram.
Instagram, yes.
Okay, so I think thanks Dom for offering your time in terms of sharing with us. And now we have come to the end of our podcast. But maybe any parting words you want to share with our audience before we end it off?
Come to Ajumas and have our beef kalbi and our new menu. But okay, other than that, I mean, I hope that it's been a session that could contribute some advice to. And yeah, I mean, looking forward to connect with more people, not just in F&B, but entrepreneurs, non-entrepreneurs. Yeah.
And I think that's amazing. And I think just to wrap it up in this learning session, I think there's 3 key things that we learned from Dom, which is firstly, how he turned the initial bad year to a more positive year on the second half through a menu design using micro-influencers, and also to hear his perspective regarding how he used F&B matrix and stuff. So Dom, thanks so much for this session, and I hope that the audience actually enjoy and we have a good session again.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Eugene.
Okay, that's all. Bye-bye.